Hi, everybody. Welcome. Tonight we're just discussing ways to save money on your grocery bill. And there's 10 very basic steps that I suggest to everybody. And the first one is one we've probably all heard of and all been taught at some stage. And that is never ever shop when you are hungry. Don't go. It costs you so much more money because you'll see stuff and you'll think, oh, great to make for supper. You'll buy it, you'll get home and you'll think, oh, it takes too long to cook. So it's very important that when you go shopping, you have something to eat. That I can't emphasize that enough. That is one of your biggest saving tips. It's something I learned years ago, and it definitely made a difference. Not a big difference in the beginning, but it definitely, I could see it when I got home from shopping. There was less food to put away, and less of it got wasted because I only bought what I needed and I had food in the cupboard. Another thing is never take your husband. Okay. Don't take the husband, and if you can avoid it, don't take the kids. Unless your husband is like an accountant or someone who's very, very particular about how much you spend and watches the budget very well, they tend to be emotional shoppers and they want what they want. They don't look at price, they tend to look at brand names and names that they know because they've seen it on TV, heard it on the radio for whatever reason. And children are the same. Also, children get tired while you're shopping and they start to get really, really difficult. And then what happens is you buy just to get out of the shop, just so that you can get them home and it's enough. That's the most important thing, with shopping with the children. Then a couple of other ones. Loyalty programs. Now, I know there's been a big thing recently with Pick and Pay cutting their cashback rewards. They're looking at more individualized sales. So they will look at what are your spending habits and give you specific deals on those products, rather than it used to be for every rand you spent, you got the same amount in cashback. It's now 1 to 2. So if you spend if you spend 2 rand, you'll get one rand cashback. I think it just for them it's going to cause a problem. A lot of people are going to be a little bit upset about it. But I think one of the things that will benefit us is that often you go to the smart counter and you have a look at what their specials are, and they're irrelevant to you, or they don't apply, or they're stuff you can't buy for whatever reason it is. You might be gluten intolerant and they've got some specific brand pizzas for sale. So having your individualized tickets is going to work better for you. But when you buy with loyalty programs, you need to be aware that you can actually combine a few loyalty programs together. So if you're a Discovery member, you get the Discovery card, not the credit card because that just gets you into debt, but their debit card. So now you're getting Vitality rewards and your cashback, plus you're also getting the Smart Shopper points. So you are earning. The same with Momentum Health, I believe, also gives huge rewards back. A lot of our banks do it as well if you're using your cards. Some of the banks, the rewards are shocking. They're really not that useful. But for other banks, the rewards are extremely good. Another thing is your eBucks. That's a huge way to save money. And that's for bigger ticket items. So when you're shopping online at something like Take a Lot or one of those places where you can use your eBucks rather than your grocery shopping. Even your clothing shopping, Edgar's and that, they have the cash rewards. And they also, although it's very small, have the little, they also have your cashback that you can use your points afterwards. So it's important that you look at that. And it's important that you look at trying to use your points together to get more out of it. So another one is looking at sales sheets, looking at the sales sheets. In your weekly local newspaper, they'll come up with the sales sheets that you can look and shop around without having to leave your house and waste your petrol. And that's important when you're drawing up a shopping list, being able to draw up the list and say, right, I'm going to this store for these things and this one for those things because the prices are less. But make sure you're not driving out of your way, because then it actually costs you the same. And that's quite important. Your coupon apps. Coupon apps are huge, and people aren't using them correctly. Smart Shopper has just introduced their app. I must admit I haven't tried it yet, but the other stores that have these apps, Checkers has their Easy Coupons app, where you go on, you have a look what's there, and if you download what you want or you mark it, and when you get to the till, it gives you a number that you must put in to get your rewards back. Some of the better ones will have the QR scanner where you can just scan in the code and it'll automatically give you the discount. Then there's Snap and Save, which is a big savings thing, because you can use it to save in multiple stores. So it doesn't matter where you're shopping. If you book your product, which is what they want, that you go online, you have a look at what's on for sale, you book what you feel is relevant to you, you do your shopping, you scan your till slip in, and you send it all on the app. And then they give you your rewards back. They give you the cash into their special save wallet. And that you can use at specific partner stores. So it's important that you look and know which are your partner stores, because then you can use those cash rewards on sales. So for an example, someone has, and they regularly do, so you know which store I'm talking about, they have a special on their toilet paper. You've got your cash rewards, you've got your loyalty card from that store. Now you're going to get those take that savings already on your discounted toilet paper and get more savings, because you're using money that you earned off something else. So it's not coming out of your wallet, your actual bank account. It's coming off money that you actually haven't got, because you never physically get the money. So it costs you less. And another way to deal with this is something called Unilever deals. This is on your computer. You log on, you go through these, they tell you, okay, you say, I want to shop at Pick and Pay, I want to shop at Checkers, I want to shop wherever they've got it. You choose your deals. It sends you an SMS with the code. And when you go to the store to buy your product that you chose, and please remember, you have to go to the specific store you already nominated, you get your points back. I've been lucky enough once to literally pay R5 for washing powder because it was on sale. Snap and Save had it registered as one of theirs, plus I had the Unilever code. So I landed at R5 for a 3-kilo bag of washing powder. And that's the way it works. South Africans don't have coupons to cut, but we do have the apps that we can use. We have our loyalty points from our credit cards. We have the loyalty points from the stores, the new rewards program from Spar. Also going to save you a fortune of money. And places like Woolworths, Woolworths rewards, you get points back on things that you've purchased. You get special discounts that are only available if you swipe your card. Now you can swipe your Woolworths card without using it to pay. So even though it's a credit card, you don't have to use it. You just use it as a loyalty card. And with Woolworths, even further discounts if you shop online. So that's quite an important aspect of using loyalty. Another aspect is something called shelf talkers. Shelf talkers are those little signs on the shelves that show you something's on special. Now be very careful. South Africa doesn't work like the rest of the world. It is very rare to find bulk products at cheaper prices. How it works here is the more popular the product is, the cheaper the price. So often it's better to buy 2 small items rather than the one large, just for the price difference. And I've seen that happen more than once. A couple of places like Macro will have where they have the items in bulk, and they are cheaper than if you buy them individually. But be very careful, know your price as well, so that you don't spend because you think it's on special. Don't buy it. Know what your real normal prices are at all the other stores before you buy a special. And another thing with those shelf talkers, don't buy something on special if you don't actually need it, because you just wasted your money. If you're not going to use something, but you buy it because it was on special, what for? If it's something that you use often, then great. If it's something that can be frozen for you or kept for a long time, then yes, you can buy it. If you know you're going to use it. And that's something we've all got to learn. Just because it's on special doesn't mean you have to buy it. Another little tip is a lot of the stores have something where you can have the prices slashed like by 50, 60%. Those are the fresh produce prices. What I often find it up the road at my store is that it's on the best before date or the sell by date. It's on that day, and they will cut the price just to get it off their shelf. They're losing money if they don't sell it. They have to throw it out. There's nothing they can do. If it's past its sell by date, they cannot even donate it to charity. Those are the rules. But there's nothing wrong with you buying stuff and freezing. I've done that more than once. I've bought some stuff, cooked it, and frozen it cooked, if that's what was necessary, or blanched it and frozen it the same way you would buy your frozen vegetables. It works just as well. And you buy them at half the price. Also, every now and again, I found things that are quite expensive normally. So they would normally be like very special treats in my house. Being able to buy it on the sale price or their best before price, and then being able to serve it as a part of a meal, and that works with all the fresh produce. I definitely know that Checkers does it, and I know that Pick and Pay, or some of the smaller Pick and Pays do it. Fruit and Veg have said to me that they do it, but I've never seen it because apparently it's very early in the morning and it's gone within minutes. An example of buying something on its sell by date is 2 years ago, I remember buying milk at 11 Rand for 2 liters. I bought about 6 of them because they were expiring that day. It was the 1st of January and they were expiring on the 1st of January. So I got them, froze them, nothing wrong with frozen milk. And I mean, we go through 2 liters a week. So to be able to buy it at that price was a huge savings. The next thing is to remember seasonal sales. Now, I don't mean the clothing sales where they say it's the change of season or end of season. Those aren't really sales. I'm talking about fruit and vegetables that's in season, that is not imported and hasn't had to be grown in a hothouse. They are much more expensive. So you'll often see the beginning of, say, strawberry season, where the strawberries are like 45 Rand a punnet, but about 3 weeks later, they're 29 Rand because they've come into season now. So the first of the season is always slightly more expensive, and then as the season progresses, they get to a more reasonable price. You really like those? Most berry fruits, they freeze perfectly. So buy them and freeze them if you have the space to do that. So learning to buy your fruit and vegetables in season is going to save you another fortune of money. Don't buy imported if you can avoid it. Once again, like I said, bulk stock, be careful. Don't get caught. Bulk stock is not always cheaper. It's the size. They've made it look cheaper because they've made a bigger size. So you'll often find these things with 30% extra. Have a look at it per item. So if it's a 1 liter and you're now buying 1.5 liters, how much is the 1 liter per liter and how much is the 1.5 per liter? And sometimes they don't work out cheaper. They work out the same or more expensive. And that's quite an important thing. So you're then better off buying 2 1 liters rather than a 1.5 liter. And you still get extra. This one is, I'm a big culprit of this, shopping bags. I never remember my shopping bags. And part of that is I'm only going in for one item. How many of you have actually managed to do that? Run into the store and only bought the one item that you really had to go. It's very hard. So keeping your shopping bags in your car is very important. You have to train yourself though, because you bring the shopping in, you unpack your shopping bags, and then they get pushed wherever they are. Shopping bags are not cheap. So if you're doing a big shop, you can spend 10 Rand just on your shopping bags. Whereas if you've recycled, then you've reused those shopping bags until they break. They're not meant to last forever. So it's important that you keep them handy, that you can go in at any time. 1 or 2 shopping bags. That means that if you buy more than what you planned, you still got space for it. But last minute shopping, never a good idea. Okay. This one is my number 1 tip, emotional shopping. It's actually 2 tips in one. The first thing is never, ever shop without a list. If you keep forgetting your list, and I mean, that happens to all of us, I've developed the habit now of taking a photograph on my phone of my list. That way, I never forget it. I don't have that excuse. It's important that you keep that. Shopping without a list, you can almost guarantee you're going to come home without the most important item on your shopping list. I'm sure everybody knows that's happened to them before. And the other one is the first point I covered in the beginning, is don't go on an empty stomach. Emotional shopping are the times when you're tired, when you're hungry, or when you're in a rush. Those 3 times are the worst to go shopping because you're in a rush. You just want to get out of there. You pick whatever there is, and it's often you'll get home and think, oh, why did I choose this? It's going to take me forever to shop or to cook. Sorry. So it's important that you understand that when you are shopping without a list, it's impulse buying. You will buy what you see. You won't always remember what's on your list. Whereas if you've got your list, you're more likely to stick to it and buy less unnecessary things. I won't say you'll get away scot-free, but you will buy less. And that's another important aspect, is knowing what you've gone for and only buying what you went for. I do hope that this has helped everybody and that you can implement these small things to do your shopping. Another tip that I'm going to just share with you here is my template. This has helped me a lot. In the very, very beginning, when I first started shopping and planning and meal planning, having an idea of what I'm making for that day would enable me to shop very specifically. So I'm just going to share the screen and then I'll tell you all about this. Let's go to my template. There we go. Right. This is what I call my template. As you can see, Monday is Meat-Free Monday. Why did I choose Meat-Free Monday? Well, it was a trend and it gave me an idea of something to make. So I tend to make a lot of food here. It can be changed. This one I've just put in for you guys to see that I said pasta, but let's change it. It can be changed to anything you want. There we go. Wednesday nights is now a fish night, which means one of my daughters knows she's going out for that night because she hates fish. So she finds a way to go to her friend. So we have Meat-Free Monday. Any pasta generally does. Sometimes I do fish like tuna, but mostly it would be vegetable lasagna. It would be a spaghetti and a vegetable and spaghetti bake. Anything you want. Or we'll do the vegetarian schnitzels or the stir fry. There's so many options available. Tuesday night in my house is mincemeat night. My kids like meat. So mincemeat is an easy thing. I have about 8 recipes that I circulate, sometimes more than that, and you can experiment. So one night will be spaghetti bolognese, another night can be meatballs. We call them porcupine meatballs. It's meatballs with rice rolled into it. Another night is sloppy joes. Another night could be tacos. Another night could be a chili con carne. There are so many options. Cottage pie, shepherd's pie. All of those things are available when you've got that. Your fish, it's a good way to introduce fish into a meal, into the family, especially if you like me, my house, where they're not really fish eaters. But it's also a nice way to find out a different way of cooking fish. Instead of sticking to your box fishes, which actually can work out more expensive, go to the fishmonger and buy something different. Google the recipe. I've got 2 places that I love to go to for recipes. One is allmyrecipes.com and the other one is a place called myfridgefood.com. MyFridgeFood, basically you put in the ingredients that you have on hand and they will find a recipe that uses those. So it's quite an easy one if you've got a lot of stuff in your cupboard and you don't know what to do with it. So fish on a Wednesday. Thursday night, we generally have chicken or we have meat, because Friday night, then we also, so those 2 nights we swap. Thursday and Friday nights we swap. 1 week is chicken, 1 week is meat. So any kind of chicken that you want, you make the chicken however you want, whether it's pieces, whether it's roast. And then on Friday nights, I do red meat or chicken as well, like I said. So you could do a beef stew on Thursday night and have a roast chicken on Friday night. It's flexible. Saturday night for my house is generally whatever's left in the fridge from during the week. You help yourselves, and if there's any leftovers, that's it. And then Sunday, I tend to make pizzas for the family, or we'll do pancakes or something light. Now, you can actually do this quite easily for takeaways too. If you're a family who likes to have your takeaways once a week or twice a week, whichever it is, choose a night and have a look. Wednesday night, fish night. You might have to change that if you want to make use of the specials that a lot of stores have. I do know that there's one fish shop that has a special on a Tuesday night. So then you rather change your fish to Tuesday night and have your mince on a Wednesday night and your chicken on a Thursday night. Well, there are a million places to go for chicken. So, and your mincemeat, a burger is mincemeat, so go for burgers. Change that to a Monday night and go for your 2-for-1 burger. All those things are possible. And I found that when I implemented this, my budget really felt it in the beginning. I suddenly stopped buying unnecessary items, and I stopped buying things that really I didn't need, that were going to go to waste in my cupboard. We cut down on the amount of pasta we were using, because we pretty much had pasta almost every night, mostly because I couldn't think of anything else to make. I would come home from work late and I was tired. And the easiest thing to do is pasta, tomato sauce, and cheese. And sometimes for protein, I'd stick it in a tuna. So it's important that when you start with the plan, don't expect to see the result, a huge result, but you will see a result almost immediately on your first shop. If you sit down and you, with a meal plan template, and you say, right, Monday I want pasta. What kind of pasta do I want to make? I want to make lasagna. Draw up your shopping list. These are the ingredients I need for lasagna. Tuesday night I want mince. We're going to have spaghetti and meatballs. Draw up the shopping list of the ingredients you need to make for spaghetti and meatballs. And you do that for the week. Then you take your shopping list and you go to your pantry cupboard. You open the pantry cupboard and you shop. What do I already have? Look through it, choose your shopping, cross those things off, and now you're left with what you need to buy at the shop. And now you're going to split it slightly more. You're going to split it into, what can I buy at the beginning of the month or at the beginning of the week that's not going to go off? What do I need to buy only on the day? If you're doing weekly meal planning, buying once a week is actually fine, because most of your fresh produce is going to make it all the way through the week. It saves you a lot of money because your food is not going to waste. You can buy from the cheaper shops, the fruit and vegetable shop that everybody loves. I find their produce doesn't last very long, but if you're buying only for that week, it's plenty and it'll last fine because you're going to plan the way you cook it. If this helped you, I'm glad. Let me know. You can let me know on my Facebook page called Cushering Your Life, or in the comments under the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.